Have you ever felt like something was wrong with your desire because it didn't show up the way you thought it should? Here's a statistic that might blow your mind. In a 2020 study, over 85% of women reported that they don't feel turned on until they're already emotionally or physically engaged. In other words, arousal for most women builds during the experience, not before. This simple fact changes everything about how we understand intimacy. So let's talk about how female arousal actually works. Because once you understand this, it can completely transform your relationship with yourself, with your body, and with your partner. We've been taught to believe that arousal should be spontaneous, that you should just feel in the mood out of nowhere, like a switch flipping on. But for most women, that's simply not how it works. That model of desire is based on outdated science and, frankly, a male-centric perspective. While spontaneous desire is valid, it's not the only kind. Most women actually experience what's called responsive desire. That means arousal follows emotional connection, physical touch, or sensory stimulation. It doesn't always come first. So if you're sitting around waiting to feel in the mood, you might be waiting forever. And if you don't feel desire out of nowhere, that doesn't mean you have a low libido. It just means that you might experience desire differently. Understanding this helps take away the shame, the pressure, and the confusion that so many women feel when their arousal doesn't follow the script we've been given. Now, let's explore what actually happens in a woman's body during arousal. Physiologically, blood flow increases to the clitoris, labia, and vaginal walls, enhancing sensation and pleasure. The clitoris swells, the vaginal canal naturally lubricates, the cervix shifts position to reduce discomfort during penetration, and the pelvic floor muscles engage and relax. Breathing deepens, the heart rate increases, skin may flush, and the entire body begins to respond. But here's the key. For many women, this process can take anywhere from 20 to 40 minutes. And those minutes aren't an obstacle to rush through. They're an opportunity. It's during this time that a woman's body is preparing to fully feel, to fully open, and to fully enjoy the experience. Rushing this process doesn't just reduce pleasure. It can lead to discomfort, tightness, numbness, or even pain. That's why prioritizing foreplay, emotional connection, and nervous system safety is absolutely essential. And when we look at the science, we see a major shift from the old Masters and Johnson model, which views arousal as linear: excitement, plateau, orgasm, resolution. That model works for some, but not all. Instead, Dr. Rosemary Basson's model of female sexual response is circular. In this framework, desire might not come first. A woman might begin in a neutral state, feel emotionally close to her partner, receive attuned touch, and then feel arousal begin to build. Trust, pleasure, and presence are what unlock desire, not the other way around. So, how do we actually spark arousal? There are three major factors that influence female arousal, especially in long-term relationships. First is emotional connection. When a woman feels emotionally seen, safe, and supported, her body can relax. Safety is not boring. Safety is what allows the nervous system to shift into pleasure. Without that emotional connection, arousal often shuts down before it even starts. Second is physical attunement. Touch that's rushed, goal-focused, or disconnected rarely works. Women need slow, intentional, curious touch with no pressure to perform. For many women, foreplay is the main event. It's where the body softens, where the breath deepens, and where real pleasure begins. Penetration may not even be the most pleasurable part, since most pleasure comes from clitoral and outer vaginal stimulation. Learning what kind of touch actually feels good, not what should feel good, is one of the biggest gifts you can give yourself or your partner. And finally, the third piece is psychological engagement. Arousal lives in the mind as much as in the body. Fantasy, novelty, playfulness, emotional cues, all of these spark desire. The brain is our largest sex organ. That's why things like erotic stories, intentional daydreaming, sexting, or dirty talk can deepen arousal. But just as powerful as those turn-ons are the turn-offs: stress, distraction, feeling unseen or unwanted. Creating the right emotional and mental context is key. So here's the biggest truth I want to leave you with. Female arousal is not a light switch. It's a dimmer. It responds to safety, to slowness, to presence. And the more you let go of pressure and tune into curiosity, the more that desire has room to grow. You are not broken if arousal doesn't come instantly. You are not defective if you need more connection to feel turned on. You're just human. And if you're willing to meet your body with kindness, with slowness, and with respect, you might discover a whole new world of pleasure that was always waiting beneath the surface. If this helped shift something in how you see yourself or your relationships, leave a comment below. I'd love to hear what resonated. And if you want to go deeper, check out the next video on how emotional safety unlocks sexual confidence. I'll see you there.